Today, we're going to talk about two of the most iconic and cheapest hotels on the Las Vegas Strip. There is the Luxor, which is a gigantic Egypt-themed hotel and casino, and then there's the Excalibur, which is a gigantic castle-themed hotel and casino. When I say gigantic, I mean absolutely huge. These hotels have over 4,000 rooms. Whoa. But anyway, I've stayed at both of these hotels over 20 times, most recently this month, which is July 2023. And I'm going to tell you what you need to know about these hotels, from the location and the cost to the room and the amenities. So let's get started. First, let's talk about the location. The Excalibur and the Luxor are neighboring hotels and are even connected by an internal bridge, as you can see here. Despite being neighbors though, the Luxor adds a considerable distance when walking to some of the attractions on the Strip, because you will need to walk through the Excalibur to get there. Now, besides that, the locations are basically the same, and here are the location details. The Luxor and the Excalibur are both located on the southern end of the Las Vegas Strip. They're about 10-minute drive from the Las Vegas Convention Center and a 10-minute drive from the Las Vegas International Airport. These hotels are not easy walking distance to some of the more famous attractions on the Strip, such as the Bellagio Fountains, the Venetian Canals, and the High Roller Ferris Wheel. If you want to reach those parts of the Strip, you can take an Uber or you can take the free tram and the paid monorail, but you will still need to do a lot of walking. If you plan on staying in the area, there are many hotels and casinos within easy walking distance, such as the Mandalay Bay, which is a high-end ocean-themed hotel and casino, the New York, which is a New York-themed hotel and casino, and the MGM Grand, which is the largest single hotel in the world. Isn't that amazing? But anyway, if you want more information on the Las Vegas Strip map, I made a video about that and many other Las Vegas hotel reviews. I'll leave links in the description in case you want to check those out after the video. The streets in the area are safe both in the day and at night, so it's great for walking around with the family. There's lots of stores to shop and things to see. There's a Ross store, which is a discount clothing store. There's a CVS, and there's the ABC stores, which carry general goods and souvenirs. There's even a Target close by. Let's talk about the costs. The Luxor and the Excalibur are on the lowest end of the MGM properties, and they are priced accordingly. Both hotels have rooms starting at under $30 per night. The Luxor is almost always a few dollars more per night than the Excalibur though, but you will usually find them at almost the same price. A friendly reminder that the Las Vegas Strip hotels charge a resort fee, which is about $40 per night. So whatever rate you are quoted, you will need to add $40 per night as well as taxes to get the final cost. Now let's talk about the rooms. The Luxor has several different types of rooms to choose from, and you can either stay in the pyramid or in one of the two towers that are connected to the pyramid. There are pros and cons to each, but my preference is always for the tower because I find that the pyramid rooms are a little bit smaller and they do take in more smoke from the casino, as the rooms have doors that face into the hallways above the casino floor. This hotel is basically a giant hollow pyramid. The tower rooms are also larger with more recent fixtures and better amenities. So at the Excalibur, they don't have many types of rooms to choose from. There are, however, two separated towers at opposite ends of the hotel, so you may want to choose your tower based on proximity to what is most important to you. Whichever tower you choose, I would recommend getting the Strip view, because if your room is not facing the outside, then you will be facing the inside of the building, which is significantly less inspiring if view is important to you. Finally, let's talk about the amenities. The Excalibur and the Luxor both have many things to offer their guests. They both have huge casinos. Here's a little bit of the Luxor casino. They have lots of tables, they have lots of slot machines. You will find plenty of options for gambling here. At the Excalibur, it's no different. You have a huge amount of slot machines, and you also have lots of tables to gamble from. Even if one or the other is more your preference, you'll still have access to both because it is easily walkable from one hotel to the other with the bridge I mentioned earlier. Both the Luxor and the Excalibur have very large pools. The website for the Luxor says the pool deck at the Luxor is the largest in Las Vegas. Here's some footage of the pool. I don't know if it seems that big to you, but when I was there, it really didn't seem too large. I do like the pool a little bit better at the Luxor than at the Excalibur though. And here's some footage of the Excalibur pool. Their menus are very similar, but the price for the Luxor are a few dollars higher than the Excalibur. I did make videos about the pool menu and the pools, and I'll leave links in the description as well. Now, as far as food choices, you do have access to both hotels because they are closer together, but my preference is for the food at the Excalibur because you're actually closer to the Strip where you can go into the other casino, which is New York, New York, and they also have a lot of food options there. Once you get on the Strip too, you even have more food options because there are food courts on the Strip. But if we're specifically talking about restaurants, they both have about the same amount of restaurants and the prices are somewhat similar. The buffets are also comparable, and when I used to go to the buffets, they allowed you to go from one to the other, so I'm not sure if they still allow that. So what are my final thoughts on choosing between the Excalibur and the Luxor? Well, I always equally value both of them. So sometimes I stay at the Luxor and sometimes I stay at the Excalibur. If you haven't stayed at either, I would recommend starting with the Excalibur because it's a bit more central and it requires less walking. And also the Luxor is considered a little bit higher end. It costs a little bit more. So you can stay there the second time. Or you can, if you have 4 nights, you can stay 2 nights at the Luxor and 2 nights at the Excalibur. And what I did this last July, I stayed for 3 nights at the Luxor and 1 night at the Excalibur. And because of our status at MGM, they upgraded us to a Royal Luxury Suite, which is something I had never seen before. In fact, I have done several reviews of the Excalibur and I didn't even note that they had a Royal Luxury Suite because I didn't see it on the website. So this was a very cool experience. I don't know if this is something that you can get if you pay for it. We were randomly upgraded, but I did book the cheapest room and that's what I got because of the gold status. And also we're frequent visitors of Las Vegas. You can watch these videos next to help maximize your travel.